Hey guys, what's up? This video is a topic about a world without money. It's hard to think about a world without money, because everything in this world today in today's society is tied to money. Everything from the things that you don't even think about. You don't realize it, but you're spending money at night when you sleep. You know, I you have to have power to you have to pay for the power that runs your alarm clock. You had to pay for the pillowcases, the pillows, the bed, the mattresses, the sheets, the blankets. You have to pay for the roof over your head. You have to pay for the water that comes out of your faucets. It's unreal. Think about all the problems that we have in the world today because of money. There's poverty, there's famine, lack of education, people working in jobs that they don't like, they only work there because they need the money. The list goes on. I could sit here forever naming all these things. You think about any problem that the world has today. Okay, any problem, you just name it. Okay, and I can guarantee you that you can trace it back to the dollar. It's the root of the problem is the dollar. That's every problem that I've thought of I've been able to trace it back to the dollar. And it's no I don't understand. Look, the reason why no one is doing anything about this, okay, is because there are people there are certain people out there that are extremely power hungry. Okay, they're usually CEOs and politicians, and they enjoy having control over other people and everything, and they have this. It's set in their mind that they know what's best for us. A fellow YouTuber, Tricklestone, he mentioned this in several of his videos that these kinds of people think they know what's best for us. I think the video was mediocrity. I think is what his video was on that one. Check his channel out, by the way. If you're Tricklestone is his channel. These people think that they know what's best for us, and these people are in positions of power, and they are in a position to influence our society to their own ends, you know, and we suffer for it, and the money, the money. That's why money is in our society. That's I've come to that conclusion because as long as the dollar is there, the dollar gives a sense of status, and it is a way to measure the amount of power that somebody has. All right, the more money you have, the more power you have, and that's why the dollar is not going anywhere. That's why we're not going to be able to exist in a society without money. In a world without money, these particular people that are in positions of power would no longer have that power. Um, they would have no control over anyone else or anything, and that's why it's not going to happen. That is the only reason the dollar is in our society to as a system of control. It's a tool that people in positions of power use to control the rest of the society. And it's you only have to look at the big picture to see it. And if there was no dollar, then these people would have no control over anyone else, and they would have no control over what people did. And I don't know. It's hard for me to wrap my head around the whole idea. Like me and a coworker had a long conversation about this, and I've thought about it a lot of times, but it's still the whole concept of a world without money is hard for me to wrap my head around because it would be such a dramatic change for this world. But in the end, though, I think it might be a dramatic change, and there's no doubt that it would cause problems of its own. But I can guarantee you that any problem that surfaces due to a world without money would still be would still be not as much of a problem as the problems we have today, like hunger and famine and so on. Because most of the problems that we have today because of the dollar are related to our survival and somehow in one way or another. And to me, it doesn't make sense to me to put a price tag on human survival. That's why is there a price tag on that? But the next time you're at the doctor, I want you to look around at the people that work there, like the nurses and the doctors that talk to you and everything. And I want you to ask yourself, are these people working here? Is this woman a nurse because she likes helping people and she likes healing people, or is she a nurse because they make good money? Is this the only reason she is a nurse? Did she study to be a nurse for the money, or did she study to be a nurse because that was a that was a way for her to allow herself to heal people, to help people? And my former roommate's girlfriend is studying right now in college to be an RN, to be a registered nurse. And kudos for her for furthering her education. You know, I'm all for that. But all I ever hear her talk about is how much money she's gonna make when she becomes an RN. And I think she's planning to move to Tennessee or something because it pays better up there or something. And anytime I hear her say that, it just I can think in the back of my head. All I ever think in the back of my head is, you know, does she really even care about anybody? Does she really care? Well, I know she does. The way she acts, sometimes she doesn't care about anybody. But does she care about these people she's going to be helping, or does she just care about when her next paycheck is going to be coming in? See, in our society today, you don't have a lot of people that think about this idea of a world without money because, um, well, the main problem is that they're not taught critical thinking like they should. The the our society concentrates more on teaching our children to accept society for what it is, and we are just forced to grow up and get a job and make our contribution to society and then die is basically what it is. And no one's taught critical thinking. No one is thought to just stand back and examine the entire world, you know, the big picture, and then express their thoughts on it, you know. But then you have the occasional, like, there's a few people out there that, like myself, and there's John Steinsvold, I think maybe his name. Mega corporations and governments don't want us to, because they don't want us being capable of critical thinking. Because we would then see the truth of how enslaved we are by the monetary system, and thus threatening their control over us. People go through their daily lives, they're born and raised being taught the false concept that we cannot exist in a society without money. The notion is never even mentioned, and so an individual is born, they grow into an adult, and they contribute the bulk of their lives to the workforce in exchange for just enough wages to keep them alive so they can come into work the following week. That individual has children, and never having been taught the idea of thinking outside the box, they accept the world for what it is and then pass that on to their children, you know, and that child grows up and the process repeats. And it becomes kind of a biological guarantee for mega corporations, so they can comfortably sit in their office chairs on the top floor of their skyscrapers without having to worry about a workforce capable of critical thinking, you know, because the process is self-cleaning itself. And we've got to wake up, people. If you like the idea of a world without money, and honestly, I can't imagine why any of us would not like that idea. I know they would not like that idea, but because as I mentioned earlier, they would lose control over us. But if you like the idea of a world without money, I'm going to show this link to this website at the end of this video, and I'm also going to post a link in the description of this video. It's a website that I happened to find. I think I googled world without money, and then this was one of the first ones that came up, and it's an article it's really worth reading. This article actually explains a lot of what I talked about in this video a lot clearer and a lot better than I did. But I'd really like you guys to check that out. And also, as always, I welcome comments and your input, you know, video responses, you know, however you want to get your input to me. I'd love to hear what you guys think. So keep in touch, and I look forward to hearing your input on this concept of a world without money. And I'll leave you with this: we can exist without money. Like, money is not a necessity. Okay, so don't think for 1 minute that it is. We can exist without money. It's just that the mass population is taught that we can't. Okay, and that's the bottom line. And as long as we're taught that, nothing's ever going to change. So start getting the word out. Start making it known to people that we need something needs to change. And it's going to fix all of the problems that we consider world problems today are going to be fixed overnight once the monetary system is gone. So we need to stop wasting our time trying to fix. We're beating around the bush trying to solve these little problems once at a time. Fighting cancer, trying to get to Mars, fighting other diseases, HIV. This famine, poverty. We're beating around the bush trying to solve these problems one at a time. As you understand now, the root of the problem is the dollar. We got to get rid of the dollar. Keep in touch.